Coming up on the show, Marvel Studios announces their 10th anniversary film festival. Disney announces attraction closures coming to the Magic Kingdom to make way for Tron Light Cycle Power Run. We start spreading some theme park rumors. And in the main segment, we talk about what the next 5 years looks like for Walt Disney World. All that and more on this episode of WDW Opinion. Cue the music.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
This is the podcast where two friends, Connor,
You are a child's plaything!
and Hank,
You are a sad, strange little man, and have my pity.
share their opinions, tips, and stories about anything and everything at Walt Disney World.
Trust me, what could go wrong?
Get ready, because this is WDW Opinion.
We're in the tower. We are ready for takeoff.
Hello and welcome to episode number 7 of WDW Opinion, the podcast where friends talk Disney. Visit WDWopinion.com to check out our blog posts on all things Disney and Universal, and follow us on social media at WDW Opinion to see what we're doing in between episodes. I am your host, Connor Brown. I'm joined by my co-host and Disney partner in crime, the one, the only, Mr. Hank Molsky. Hank, I got a haircut this week, so let's do a bad radio segment right now where you describe to our listeners what my new hairdo looks like. Go.
Well, I was very shocked by the skull and crossbones tattoo on the front of your forehead where you shaved that circle out.
I said hairdo, okay? Not the tattoo that I just got. Comment only on my hair, sir.
The double mohawk down either side's a little interesting, but, you know, if that's what the kids are doing these days, I think it sports you pretty nicely.
As soon as I walked into work on Monday, I was fired. Not because of the haircut, for undisclosed reasons, but I will say that's one of the things, especially because the haircut that I got, it's not crazy. It's just I had long hair and now I have short hair. Especially when you go into work and like you work in an environment that's just all cubicles, every single person that walks by, hey, new haircut? Whoa, what happened? New haircut? Yes, please, just leave me alone. I wanted to send out an everyone email to all 70 people that work in my office and just saying, listen, let's get this out of our system now. Got a haircut. Let's move on.
Come check out the Freak Show.
Yeah, 5 minutes only. That's all I have.
Listening hours or, you know, office hours. Come check out Connor's hair.
Viewing hours.
1 to 1:15.
Unfortunately, Connor's gone back into his pen for the night. Won't be out until the morning.
I should, you know what? I'm going to kick off some housekeeping for you real quick. My housekeeping. There you go. Look at what I've done. Stole your housekeeping notes. Housekeeping. I am recovering from some type of cough, so I wanted to apologize to the users if I sound a little raspy. We're actually recording a day later than usual because I couldn't even muster up the strength to say a few words the other night. So thank you for bearing with me.
I think tonight's going to put my editing skills in to the paces, so to speak. I'm going to get a lot of practice.
So I sound great. Never mind. Forget I said anything because Connor's such a good editor.
I would not hold that to me.
Any voice cracks you hear are Connor's fault this evening.
Thanks,
Connor.
Right. I think I might just do that one of those audio, those voice dubbings kind of things where to ensure the safety of our insider, we've hidden his voice. So Hank, tonight you're just gonna sound like Bane
The monster
in Gotham.
voice. Give me the monster voice.
No, yeah. No, before this gets completely out of hand, if it hasn't already, let's get into the show.
Okay, thank you.
It's time for News to Opinion. This is our weekly segment where we each pick a Disney news story from the past week to discuss and share our thoughts and opinions on. My News to Opinion story of the week is Marvel Studios' 10th Anniversary Film Festival. Now you can experience a movie marathon like no other. This is from D23.com. To celebrate Marvel Studios' 10th anniversary, select IMAX screens across the United States and Canada will show a decade of Marvel Studios films, from Iron Man all the way to the most current Ant-Man and the Wasp. The Marvel Studios' 10th Anniversary Film Festival takes place from August 30th through September 6th, and will show all 20 films exclusively in IMAX. 3 of these films, Iron Man, The Incredible Hulk, and Captain America, The First Avenger, have never been seen in that format. The first 5 days of the show will show all 20 films in release order, followed by 2 themed days on origins and team-ups, and then the festival will conclude on the morning of September 6th with 2 films chosen especially by fans. I really think that this film festival, quote-unquote film festival, because it takes place all over the country and Canada, sounds really, really awesome. So the way it's going to work is it starts on Thursday, August 30th, and it has 4 movies each day. So the matinee for that day will be Iron Man, the late afternoon will be The Incredible Hulk, the primetime movie will be Iron Man 2, and then the evening movie will be Thor. The next day they do the same order, but it's Captain America, Avengers, Iron Man 3, Thor the Dark World, etc., etc. So they knock out all of those ones, basically in order from 1 to 20. And then on Tuesday, the 4th of September, they do origin stories. So the origin stories is you see the person as a person, and then you discover how they became the superhero. So that's what an origin story is when they're talking about that for superheroes. Those origins that they're showing on the 4th will be the original Iron Man, Spider-Man Homecoming, Black Panther, and Doctor Strange.
I was going to say, that's interesting that Homecoming is still considered an origin story. You know,
it is. I think it's just it's
the first in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Right. Exactly. It's the new Peter Parker's origin story.
But now, now I'm going to split hairs. Neither the Black Panther nor Spider-Man, that was their first movie that they appeared in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
It's a good point.
Actually, they both appeared for the first time in the same film.
But I think it's one of those things where it's how they became it to a certain extent.
Yes, absolutely, that is true with Black Panther, 100%.
But with all that said, I didn't understand why the first Captain America wouldn't be in it then, right? I mean, you literally see how frail he is, and then
I think it's because of how many times it sounds like they've already played it at that point.
That's a good point. I mean, yeah, that's
got to be what it is. They're just looking for an excuse to throw Peter Parker in there.
Hey, that is fine by me.
I'm fine by me. I love that film.
What did you think about Doctor Strange, just as a movie in general?
I very much liked it. It is my wife's favorite.
Is it really?
Marvel. Yeah, she loves
Erin,
Doctor
great
Strange.
Friend of the podcast. Had her on as a guest 2 weeks ago.
I do. So I don't know if by that association I like it more than the regular fan. I do think Benedict Cumberbatch is excellent.
I think he's a great, Dr. Stephen Strange. I think I gotta watch it again. I liked it the first time, but the more I thought about it, I was like, did I really like it? And then on Wednesday, the 5th of September, we have team-ups. So this is when the characters from different, I guess you could say, franchises come together. So you have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
There's a lot of... That's just like pretty much every film after Phase 2.
Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Civil War, Captain America, the first Avengers, and then the Avengers Infinity War. Hank, were you upset that Thor Ragnarok wasn't considered?
I'm heartbroken. We've expressed our absolute adoration with that film on this podcast.
And then Thursday it closes up with fan choice. September the 6th.
Ragnarok.
Yeah. What do you think it's going to be? Not what we want it to be, but what do you think fans across the country will be able to go to? I don't even know where they vote for it.
Right? Infinity War is up for a choice, right? It's the recency bias thing. It's going to be Infinity War, and I think Ragnarok probably has a pretty decent shot. Black Panther.
Hang on, I am clicking on the voting button as we speak. Oh, look at that. Voting is on Twitter. It's on at IMAX. You vote for the...
Very, very interesting. Recency bias. It's just going to end up being Infinity War.
No,
Black
it won't.
Panther.
Because it's a poll on Twitter, on IMAX's Twitter, and there's only 4 options: the original Iron Man, Captain America, the first Avenger, the Avengers, and Black Panther. So
Black Panther in a landslide. Give it a vote, Connor. Tell me who's winning.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. Oh, there's only 15 hours left. Okay, I'm voting for Black Panther. Oh my god. The Avengers at 43%.
What? I mean, I did like the first Avengers, but man, I did not expect that.
They've shown that movie a lot in that film festival then. Interesting.
Well, that was fun. That was very fun.
That was fun. I like this. I like this idea just because anytime a place can... Disney loves to do anniversaries, birthdays of any sort. So, but I think that this one is, you don't have to go to the parks for it. You don't have to tune into a TV special at one point. You know, you can go to any IMAX. It's cool that they're doing it at IMAX. It's an elongated, couple of days, a week or so. I just think it's a cool idea, and I hope that, they start doing this more. Maybe we have like a Star Wars marathon. I know there's been those things before, or like a Mickey Mouse marathon, or an animated movies of
one day
this guy.
A Magic Kingdom marathon of all the movies made of the rides in Magic Kingdom.
Oh, that is good. You know what? When this podcast blows up, I mean figuratively, not literally. When it blows up, when it gets,
what do you mean?
10 million, when we get millions of adoring fans, I'll rent out a movie theater.
There we go. I like this.
And we'll screen every, well, I guess not every.
Like the origin story. We're gonna watch Eddie Murphy's Haunted Mansion, and no one's gonna stop us.
And that's gonna be right in prime
Pirates
time.
of the Caribbean. That's gonna be great.
Yep, Haunted
Lily
Mansion.
James Cinderella for Cinderella's Castle. Beauty and the Beast with Emma Watson. We don't have our Space Mountain ride yet. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. We're dropping some big names on this podcast. We're gonna bring all the stars in.
Oh yeah,
be there.
He'll be there. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Man, we got a lot. You could do a Toy Story film. It would have to be Toy Story 2 though, based on the theming of Space Ranger Spin, which is my favorite Toy Story.
Good call. Good point.
If we're really getting into it.
Good point.
What other rides would there be?
Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, Christopher Robin.
Ewan McGregor will be coming, but we'll make him dress up in full Star Wars character. It won't make any sense.
Winnie the Pooh.
It won't make any sense, but he's showing up like that.
Tron. And folks, this is how you transition. Connor, time for my news to opinion of the week. 2 classic Magic Kingdom rides attractions are temporarily closing to make room for Tron Roller Coaster. With the 50th anniversary of Walt Disney World in 2021 quickly approaching, it's all hands on deck at Disney to ensure that all their planned updates are finished on time. Over at the Magic Kingdom, the Main Street Theater project has been postponed, but the Tron coaster in Tomorrowland is quickly moving forward with vertical construction soon to be visible from within the park. That's when fans this week saw a new billboard announcing the attraction was recently installed along the train route between Storybook Circus and Tomorrowland, even though guests won't be seeing the sign for long. Anyways, so...
Wait, that is interesting. I just realized that.
Go ahead. What?
How they won't be seeing that sign for long.
Yeah. Isn't that funny?
That's hilarious. So basically there's a billboard when you go on the Walt Disney World Railroad. It says Tron Roller Coaster, Tron Light Cycle. I don't even know what the full name is. Light Cycle Run coming to Tomorrowland soon, whatever. And in order for them to construct that, the railroad will have to close, so they won't see that sign. It popped up overnight.
Yeah. It's just a hype machine. Yeah, what's the point of that? You know, that makes you wonder, though, when you spend, like, your marketing budget. You're like, oh, yeah, just paint a big old sign. Well, why'd we just spend... For Disney, it's like, why'd you just spend $600 on that or whatever?
It was probably more. There wasn't a billboard there to begin with.
Yeah, shoot. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, like, it's only $1,000.
Interesting tactics.
So I'm looking at the image right now of that area back there that's getting all rethemed and everything. I know there was some speculation at first about, is Tomorrowland Speedway going to get a makeover? What's going to happen? What's it going to look like? It certainly does sound like they're just, because the Disney Parks blog also put a thing out about what they're doing with the speed track. I want to see if I can pull the quote. So the Speedway would reopen as the same attraction our guests know and love in the summer of 2019. It certainly seems like they're trying to say we're not doing anything to this except maybe moving the track over a little bit.
Yeah. You know, it's an interesting journey when Tron Light Cycle Run was announced at D23, which is a Disney fan convention. It was announced at D23 in 2017, last year. The weeks leading up to it, people were basically saying, you know, it's going to happen. And in order for it to happen...
Right. I remember that now.
Yeah, Indy Speedway was going to have to go, was going to have to be demolished.
Yep.
They announced it, and then we soon found out, oh, wow, they're building this behind the Speedway, so that thing's going to stay there. You know, now we come almost full circle to, you know, I don't think this is a thing where they close the Speedway to do construction on it and it never opens again, just because that's a lot of space that I don't think that ride is going to occupy.
And it's one of those, and this is the thing, and this is a developing theme. I think kind of this is the first time we've talked about it, but it's ever present in the Disney community. It is all hands on deck for the 50th anniversary, and everything's got to have a bow on it. They're not just going to not reopen Tomorrowland Speedway. You know what I mean?
Another rumor I have been hearing about Tomorrowland Speedway is, well, one is it might get cut a little bit short, so they'll reposition the track. That's one rumor, but the other rumor...
That sounds possible, yeah.
The other rumor I've been hearing, which could really happen, is theming the vehicles to look like Tron.
Well, see, that's what I'm hoping happens. I was just about to get into this. I'm glad you said that, because I don't know what's going to happen with the gas aspect of it, and the idling especially of Tomorrowland Speedway. But when we talk about like immersive lands, and it sounds like Tomorrowland's going to get some type of a rebrand for the 20th or 50th anniversary for 2021. Boy, it really just doesn't feel like Tomorrowland Speedway fits in there anymore, does it? With like that, especially next to the Tron coaster, which will be like going by, and then right next to it you got.
You know, it's one of the things when it first opened, how the cars were shaped and stuff, it was futuristic. But what you have to realize is, you know, it comes from Disneyland and Autotopia and things like that, but the lands in Magic Kingdom all tell a story, and the Speedway it's not integral, but it's a big part of the transition from Tomorrowland to Fantasyland. You know, it's not the best transition like the other ones in like Adventureland, in like Frontierland to Liberty Square, and then Liberty Square in or the other way around, Fantasyland into Liberty Square. But it is a transition, so...
Would it kill them to do electric cars? I'm thinking the answer is yes.
I worked with someone at the hotel in Disney, a Yacht and Beach Club where I worked at. And they had previously worked at the Indy Speedway. And they were telling me about what it was like to work there and stuff, and it just sounded awful. First off, there's no shade. And imagine there being no shade in the Florida heat, and you're standing next to an idling, you know, gas engine.
Yeah.
It's not ideal.
And those are not easy cars to get in for adults too, so you got to watch people cram into those things.
The best part about that ride is the way maintenance works in the parks is there's a third shift that comes in. And they basically, you know, there's like 4 people for each ride or each complex of rides that just work on the rides overnight. Then when you, during the day, there's typically 1 person for a ride or a group of rides. Indy Speedway had like 1 to 2 people working around the clock, like, because those bad boys would just go out all the time. So, It's interesting. It's interesting.
Now I don't want to waste this on our next segment of the night, but I just gotta say this because I think it could be something cool. I've not heard this anywhere else, but I just thought of this. The train has to pass through the Tron ride, pretty much, more or less it does.
Yeah.
It's like going through some portion of the Tron Plaza. Let's put it that way. Through the ride, maybe, where it does that outer loop in Shanghai, it might be something similar to that. Or it could be something similar to like what you see in Splash Mountain, where it's just like kind of hidden and you don't really know it goes by. I think that there is going to be, this is totally unfounded in anything. This is not my rumor, but it is a rumor that I'm making up. There's going to be some pretty awesome projection mapping, I think, that happens with that train going through there, either for the people on the ride or from the ground. I think they're gonna find a way to make that train look something out of Tron as it passes through. Or if you're passing through, there's going to be like glass or projections where you're going to feel like you're seeing a whole bunch of Tron stuff. Is that already news? Did I already say something that's happening?
No, it's not. I was just thinking of the train out in Disneyland, which kind of goes through those vignettes, those storylines of
yeah, didn't think about that.
Kind of like what the TTA does, the People Mover in Tomorrowland. Yeah. No, I think that'd be awesome if it did that.
That would be sweet. Can you imagine if that went through there and like on the screen as it passed through, if you were on the ground, it just like turned into like a slow moving passenger? I don't know. It would look cool.
Talk about making the Disney World Railroad like an e-ticket attraction, basically.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
That'd be so cool. Well, those are some awesome news stories this week. Today's middle segment is Start a Rumor. This is the segment where, as the name implies, we start a rumor of something cool we think should come to the parks. Our hope is that our fabricated rumors build enough traction to eventually reach someone in a position that can actually make it happen. Here, we are playing Armchair Imagineer. Now, a disclaimer before we start. These are totally fabricated rumors. We know nothing. In fact, we probably know less than nothing, if that's possible. These are just ideas we made up that we think would be cool if it can come to the parks. In the previous segment, we talked about a couple rumors. Those are more ones we've heard. Hank mentioned one where he just came up with something. These ones are completely fabricated. We're just making these up right now. But with all that said, let's get into it. Hank, have you heard any good rumors lately?
Oh, I have, Connor. I've got one for you. Listen to this one. I think it's about time that you said goodbye soon to your friends over... I can't remember the name of the town. I'm so stupid. But it's time to say goodbye to Brer Bear and Brer Fox.
No.
Splash Mountain is getting rethemed. See, here I go again. Retheming a classic ride. Yeah, I heard a rumor, Connor, that with the impending success of Jungle Cruise, that they really, really wanted to get Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's voice in the park, and quickly. What better way to do that than through the voice of Maui, the demigod, and a reskin of Splash Mountain to Moana, with music written by Lin-Manuel Miranda, masking over Splash Mountain and retheming the mountaintop. What's the falls names? What's the name of the falls right now? It's not Slippin' Falls. What's the main drop?
Chippewa?
Chippa something. It's Chippa something. It's not Chippa something anymore though. I'll tell you that much. It's gonna be the volcano from the film. That's it. That's all I got for you.
You know, it's funny because
you're looking for Chippapin Falls.
Yeah, I'm looking for what it is. Of course, when you open up the Wikipedia thing, the small thing says, a small drop of Slippin' Falls. I'm not looking for the small
knows Slippin'
drop.
Falls because it's labeled right there.
I'm looking for the big drop. You know, that's so funny that you bring that up about Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson coming into the Magic Kingdom, because my rumor that I was going to make up, because these rumors are totally fabricated and completely made up, was going to be something like Jungle Cruise related. because we had just talked about Jungle Cruise. But
my God.
But bringing Dwayne The Rock Johnson into it. That's an interesting idea, albeit doesn't make any sense at all, because why would a Hawaiian volcano be in Frontierland?
It's close enough to Adventureland, though. No, it's not.
You could kind of do it. Basically, what you would have to do is...
You'd have to switch the entrance of that ride. No, you can't get back over there, though.
No, what you would do is you would have a pathway go to Big Thunder from... like you would cut across the rivers of America so that you don't have to...
I got you.
So
that
it's
almost feels a little bit more like Disneyland in a way.
Like where you enter for Tom Sawyer's rafts.
Yeah.
And And the wooden walkway, you would just have it.
And see, that's what I started to drag my feet into this a little bit now, but you're helping me out with my own rumor that I heard that's totally fabricated. But I think that I love good musical IP finding its way into the park. And I think it's disappointing that Moana wasn't the humongous box office success. Don't get me wrong, it was a big success. It wasn't a humongous enough success to bring it directly into the parks, though. And I feel like with the music as good as it was in that film, it kind of hurts me that it doesn't have a spot somewhere in the parks, other than the Polynesian Resort in the minuscule way that it's there. But how cool would that be to have all those? There's so much good musical IP that they could put all over that ride. And it's a water ride, and they're in those log-looking things in the movie.
I think the ride is just completely underrated. Or, I'm sorry, the movie is just completely underrated.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Even though it won the Academy Award. It's, What won the Academy Award that year?
We're not going to Google it. We're not going to jump away.
Who was the other one?
It wasn't Moana, though, because they lost the... I'm trying to remember, because...
What was the Pixar one that year?
If Lin-Manuel would have won the best song that year at the Oscars, he would have gone EGOT, and he did not win. I think he lost to Common and T.I. that year, maybe?
Oh, my gosh. Was it Inside Out? Who knows? 2016. It's interesting when a movie is considered a failure when it makes $248 million. It wasn't a failure. I shouldn't say that. It just wasn't enough to put it like fully
correct
into like its own attraction or something like that.
But I don't know. I'm telling you right now that I love Splash Mountain, but I think part of the reason Splash Mountain is as good as of a ride that it is today is because they didn't cut corners on the Disneyland or Disney World version. It's fully baked all the way through, totally themed, super long, worth your money, entertaining. It's got everything. I don't think it is specific to the theming itself that it's so successful. The theming works because they executed it. Does that make sense? I don't want to say that I don't like the theming.
So
I'm just saying.
So here's a question for you.
Yes.
In this world where people on Twitter like to complain about too many intellectual properties, as in movies or characters that Disney buys and then puts into the parks, rather than just creating their own characters like a Pirates of the Caribbean or a Big Thunder Mountain or a Haunted Mansion. In a world where that exists and people want more, independently made characters and attractions, is Splash Mountain, should it be considered an IP attraction or a completely made up attraction?
It's a completely made up attraction in my book. The only way that exists now, if you think about what the legacy of that show is, there's nothing left. You know what I mean? It's not like it's an IP that Disney is making any money off of except for the ride. The ride is the IP now.
They can't make any money off of it because it's banned in most states. You can't watch it.
That's a good point.
And so it's based off of characters from a Disney movie from the 50s called Song of the South. And it has been considered to have racial overtones and things like that. Uncle Remus, Song of the South. And because of that, it has been, banned, quote unquote banned. Like it was banned in like public places. And it's in the Disney Vault. Like you can't ever see it. But because of that, or I guess in spite of that, they have created an incredible ride based off of the animal characters in it. And I think that's pretty awesome because the Imagineers took these characters that no one probably had attachments to and created them in their own. And you can go out and you can meet Brer Bear and Brer Fox. And people know them because they are from that ride. Okay, so Moana coming to Splash Mountain. Interesting rumor. I've actually been hearing some rumors lately too.
What have you heard?
And some might say, unfortunately, I don't know. I think it's interesting. It has to deal with Epcot, specifically Future World of Epcot. As we know, last year, the Universe of Energy closed to make way for the new Guardians of the Galaxy roller coaster. Well, that was just the first of a bigger Marvel presence in Epcot.
Hey.
Not just one pavilion in Guardians of the Galaxy is going towards Marvel. Actually, every single pavilion
Oh, God.
in Future World
What have you done? What have you heard?
is going to Marvel.
Oh, my God. That park's amazing. Good Lord. This is the best rumor I've ever heard.
I know. It's crazy. It's going to start with I think, Mission Space. So Mission Space is actually going to be turned into an Iron Man ride. So you're going to go into the cockpit still.
It's going to feel what it's like. No, Connor. I heard this one. This is where what it feels like to actually have to wear the thing in your chest. Someone punches you in the chest.
No. Not yet. That's at any Six Flags park, and that's just the people that go there. The riff-raff punches you in the stomach. Six Flags, not a sponsor of the show. No, it's like you're in Iron Man's suit, Tony Stark's suit. You climb in, and you go on an adventure. That's what Mission Space is going to become. Mission Iron Man. I'm not the creative guy. They'll come up with a better name. Yeah. Test Track is going to become Incredible Hulk ride.
Hey.
Twist. Banner, Dr. Bruce Banner, has become the Incredible Hulk, but you can't contain him. So you gotta test him. You're on Test Track trying to get away from him.
Okay.
And then the closer, the big finale, he's chasing you around the loop, and then finally you're able to calm him down, and he turns back into Bruce Banner.
And then Captain America comes on for a second. He's like, "Oh, you forgot to turn on the anti-lock brakes. Now try that run again."
Yes. Sponsored by GM.
Thanks, Captain America, for turning on my anti-lock brakes. Sponsored by GM.
OnStar. My favorite was when you.
Thanks, Captain America, for turning on my OnStar.
No, when I first rode Test Track, when it had the new overlay, at one point when you're going up the hill, it goes connecting to OnStar, and the guy in front of me said, "Well, it's just a big commercial now. It's all a commercial."
Where do you think you are, you jerk? Everything here is sponsored. Get out of here.
Test Track becoming the Incredible Hulk. Imagination is becoming a Doctor Strange ride. Think about that. You're upside down. You're inside out. It's all a part of your imagination. Pretty awesome, right?
That's an easy one.
The land, you're actually on a boat ride. You're going through Asgard.
This is great. I wish I heard this.
Right, you're going through Asgard. You're going through the land that Thor is from.
Oh, God, this is great.
And then Soren, you're going to go up and you're going to fly with Thor as well. As he wields his hammer, he spins his hammer, Soren goes up and you fly throughout the 9 realms, if you will.
Yeah. I love this.
And then the Seas with Nemo and Friends stays the Seas with Nemo and Friends because, gotta be honest, didn't Couldn't really figure.
You mean Aquaman's not a DC character?
Yeah, couldn't really think up of any fake rumor for the seas with Nemo and friends. Could you think of anything, Hank, that could go in there?
Aquaman. They're just gonna jump at this point in the rumor. We're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna toss a DC property.
Yeah,
it's Aquaman. Surprise.
Well, we can do that, but also Spaceship Earth is changing. I'm sorry, it has to. It has to change.
Yeah, it does.
It's still going to be a slow ride, but you're going to be going through the SHIELD offices. You're going to see all their new technology, their history, how Howard Stark was involved.
Yep.
So there you go. Future World is now becoming Marvel World, and they're protecting the citizens of the World Showcase.
Oh, man, that makes that. Can you imagine that park? That just. Can you think about the fervor of people wanting to go there? See, that brings back. This is where I get excited about Disney. This is why I love Animal Kingdom so much, because the park is just so consistent. If you had a whole half of the park like that, the worlds of Marvel, and then the worlds of Earth in the back, oh, it's perfect. It's awesome.
People would be so pissed.
I know.
They would be
I don't care.
I don't care either.
It's so perfect. It's so perfect.
You know what I want to do? I want to have fun. And those two rumors that we had sound like a lot of fun.
See, okay, now I'd like to go back for a moment because I'm having fun with this concept.
Yeah, let's do it.
If you are on Mission Space right now, and you ride Mission Space Orange, which has been many years since you've done that.
Yeah.
It feels like you've got 1,000 pounds of force, like right on your chest. How cool would that be if they were showing you stuff like going in there, we're going to put the core, I can't remember the name of his thing.
We can't remember anything.
Yeah. We're just way off tonight. I can blame it on my illness. I don't know what's going on with you.
Nah, just normal day in my life.
Yeah. So it's you getting the core implanted on your chest and then learning how to fly and going off into space and feeling that force. I mean, it's perfect. Man, that's awesome.
It sounds so freaking cool.
Yeah. Oh, man. Pete, can you imagine how tough it would be to get into Epcot after that? People are freaking out about Galaxy's Edge right now.
But man, forget about it.
Forget
about it, huh? Forget about it.
That's a good one.
Those are some really, really good rumors. That we totally made up, completely fabricated. We have no idea if they're actually true, which they aren't, let's be honest. Those are rumors that we just made up. Why do we continue to go back to Disney World? Maybe it's the constants we know are going to be there. The incredible theming, fantastic service, plenty of fun for you and your entire party, plus, of course, a little magic and pixie dust sprinkled along the way. We have our favorite classic attractions that will never get old no matter how many times we experience them, and while those constants are nice, we also go back to Disney World to partake in new things. With each passing year, we, Disney fans, get more and more new things to experience. The next few years will bring a whole lot of new experiences to the parks. In fact, it may be the most new things in a 5-year span, really, ever. There's so much coming that we thought we'd break it down for you. Today, we'll be reviewing the things coming to Disney World in the next 5 years. We'll discuss what we're excited for, and maybe what we're not so excited for. It's all about the future, today on WDW Opinion. Hank, what keeps you coming back to Disney World? Old favorites or new experiences?
If I'm being completely honest, it's definitely old favorites. I mean, that's what gets me there. I don't think it's what sells the tickets. I don't think it's what drives, these insane booking rates and park growth and all that stuff. I mean, if you look at what's going to happen for the 50th anniversary, when there's Disney expecting every single room to be booked throughout the year on all these new hotels that they're building, that's how you get it done. You build all the new stuff and then people show up. That's how you get new people in, and that's how you generate your next generation of families that come there. They've already suckered us, Connor. We're the ones that we returned because of the things that were new back in the 90s, you know? That's why we're still coming around, is because they built the new stuff for us, not because of Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
R.I.P. Mr. Toad.
R.I.P. Blessed be.
Blessed be the wild toads, for they shall inherit
It's
the
so
earth.
unto you.
Well, I think the problem with us commenting on, what we come back, old favorites or new experiences, it doesn't really matter. They have us hooked. Whatever it is.
I'm going to book a fast pass for all this stuff we're going to talk about,
Very good. That's a great point. The reason we come back is because we've experienced all the old favorites and we love them so much that we give Disney, basically, we oblige them and basically saying, okay, all these old things are great. Mm-hmm. We have we're confident that these new experiences are going to be just as good as the old experiences. So that's why we keep coming back, right?
Yes.
So instead of giving you like our top 5 things we're excited for, I think we're excited for all of these things. Yeah. What I decided to do was take everything that has been announced thus far, break it down, and we're going to talk about every single one. I think along the way we'll each say, this one's my favorite, this one's my favorite, whatever it may be.
And we may just say they're all the favorite, and this will be a completely valueless segment for you.
Well, there you go. But
listen more.
One thing to keep in mind is, why is everything occurring in these 5 years, right? Why is everything occurring from now until 2021, when all this stuff was basically announced in 2017? The reason is 2021 will mark the 50th anniversary of Walt Disney World. And we can confidently say that that anniversary is going to be absolutely gigantic. Absolutely gigantic.
Yes. For the uninitiated, I think we've just stressed it. We've mentioned it enough times on this podcast tonight, which as we ratchet up over the next few years. Connor, you ready to do this for a few years with me?
Absolutely.
It's just, that's going to be the topic of everything for Disney. It's the 50th anniversary of Disney World. They're going to be talking about that till they're blue in the face. You're going to see the marketing. It's going to be a 15-month celebration, even though it only happened for a year.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely.
It's going to be, you are going to get, if you listen to this podcast, every single piece of targeted advertising that you'll ever receive, because you typed in the word Disney at some point, will be about the 50th anniversary in Disney World. And you're going to want to buy tickets because every single person that you've ever known is going to be there. And you got to be there for the 50th. And look at all these new rides. Come look at them.
I'll be there. I'm seriously considering being there on October 1st.
Oh, I've thought the same thing. You got to, what is it? Is it going to be like 499 days out? Is that how serious we need to be about that?
Oh, gosh. I mean, I think we can book. Well, I'll book DVC, which will be 11 months out.
All right. Well, I'm gonna stow away then.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pack my sleeping bag.
There you go. More the merrier. So these are in no particular order other than how I pulled them off of the interwebs. We're just gonna start, and I'll also add the contingency of when it's going to open.
You know what though? I think that's fair because it really has been kind of like this, like a gumbo that they've been making of like what it's going to be. It's just like, throw it in the pot.
It's like a game of dodgeball with the kid who sucks at dodgeball. It's like the kid stands up, gets pelted with the dodgeball, falls down, finally musters up the courage to get up again, gets hit again. Those dodgeballs are like the attractions. Disney is just throwing announcements at us left and right, and we're just,
hey, when Toy Story Land's done, we're going to open up Galaxy's Edge. Oh, by the way, we're going to take away the Great Movie Ride. Oh, God.
Dead.
Yeah.
Person's dead.
Yeah.
So the first one I have on my list is Guardians of the Galaxy attraction. We just commented on it in the Starter Rumor segment. This is taking over the Universe of Energy in Epcot. Hank, what are your thoughts on it?
I won't waste too much wind on this because I've already expressed it before. Already more excited due to the success of Guardians of the Galaxy Breakout and Disney's California Adventure, which was a reskin of their Tower of Terror ride out there, which has been a massive hit with the fan base and just the casual fan. People love it. I think that if they're able to do that in Disney World, it's going to be awesome, and of course they will. I think they've already got the plan in place. The cast will be there. James Gunn will not. But whoever they bring in, I think it'll be great. I'm excited for the ride.
I will say Guardians of the Galaxy is going to be a roller coaster, but it was announced a couple months ago that at the D23 Expo in Japan, it's going to be one of the world's longest enclosed roller coasters. If you've seen any of these pictures surfacing from Epcot of the building that it's in, it's absolutely gigantic. Absolutely gigantic.
Connor, you can see that thing from... I mean, when we were standing... You've walked in that international entrance plenty of times out by the boardwalk and everything. When you're standing facing uphill, waiting to go into the park at a lower ground, you can still see that ride. It's huge. I mean, you can see it from everywhere.
It's absolutely massive. And
it is... Yeah.
They're building it very quickly, or at least so it seems. Like the building structure is getting built very, very quickly. But they have still said that it will only open before 2021. No hard date on when it will open.
That's absolutely crazy that they can't even promise 2020 now. It's not even 2019.
Yeah, exactly. It is interesting.
Gosh.
We'll see how that all works out and how they hide the building and stuff like that. I don't know if you've ever noticed this, Hank, but the show building for Soarin' is painted completely sky blue and actually has clouds painted on it. So, as we're saying this now in the world of Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, we're saying, oh my God, this is such an unsightly thing. They might be able to mask it especially by 2021.
Or do they go the route of Breakout?
Yeah.
And make that thing look like
just make it
who knows?
Look like a warehouse.
We have no idea.
No idea.
I think Epcot. I mean, you and I would probably just pick the sky blue at this point, just because it fits more consistently. In the Marvel rumor, though, they might as well just go all out.
Right. Exactly.
In the rumored Marvel land,
they might just say,
Connor made it up.
I made it up. Completely. Just say screw it. But I'm excited for a roller coaster to come to Epcot. That's going to be super, super cool.
And hey, speaking of people getting angry about things, that was one of them.
That was one of them.
No roller coasters in Epcot.
No,
Can't have that. Test track goes 70 miles an hour.
So I had one on our list, but I think I'm going to change it up the order real quick. And I'm going to talk about the Space Restaurant in Epcot.
Right next door.
Right next door. This Space Restaurant, from the artist renderings that we've seen, sounds like it's going to be the Coral Reef, which is the restaurant in Living with the Seas. Basically, the way that Coral Reef is situated is you walk into the restaurant, you're seated, and all of the seats face one way, and it's this giant aquarium. The aquarium is the living seas. So you get to watch all the fish swim by as you're eating fish. A little morbid, but the Space Restaurant, and that's literally all we know about it, seems like it's going to be like this. All of the tables and chairs will be faced one way, and it looks like it's going to be some sort of projection of space with maybe rocket ships and spaceships going back and forth and things like that.
Hopefully it's not like a thrill screen at all. I hope it would just be a lot of ambiance and like...
Basically, what I think it's going to be is like sci-fi drive-in in Hollywood studios, where you go in there as well. You sit in these cars. The cars all face one way, and there's a big screen. And on the screen, they project stuff. This is going to be much better because it's going to be brand new, but it's not going to be anything like going quick or fast or stuff like that.
Connor, you know what I'd love? You're going to agree with me right away when I say this. I can sense it. I've got you. You know what I hope the soundtrack is? Just playing constantly in there, 24/7.
Elton John, Rocket Man.
the exit queue for Space Mountain.
Oh, that would be incredible.
I could just eat there for hours with that playing.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna. You know what? After this podcast, I'm gonna go listen to that.
I'm probably gonna put headphones in while I go to bed, just so I can listen to that as I fall asleep.
And everyone knows that noise. If you've been to Disney World, that noise in the exit queue, under construction currently at Space Mountain, is
The exit queue is under construction. Yeah. I will say, not to be, a Debbie Downer or anything, but this restaurant, all we know is that it's a space restaurant, and it will most likely be next to Mission Space. We have no other details. We don't know when it's going to open. If anything is on the chopping block,
oh no,
it's got to be this restaurant when it comes to budget cuts and things like that.
Oh, yeah, true. It's basically, it just sounds like it's a test playing ground for them to test their space screens for the Star Wars hotel.
But again, it doesn't have a date, so who knows when it's going to open. I mean,
True.
We haven't seen any construction going on over there.
No, wait, they have cleared it out. They're cleaning it up right now.
Is it going to be for the space restaurant, though?
I would think so. Check it out. There's a lot. They are clearing the land back there. It looks tiny. I was going to comment on that. There's not a ton of land, but they've cleared it out. It is not a big investment, or so you would think.
Well, another thing you didn't think was going to be a big investment, which was also announced in 2017, would be the Main Street Theater, and that has since been on the chopping block. Also, side note, completely unrelated. Did you see today? Disneyland has paused their new hotel indefinitely.
Seriously?
Yes, and they have closed several restaurants in downtown Disney, out in Disneyland, to make way for this, have started construction on it, and they're holding out for certain tax breaks and things like that.
And Anaheim Council does not give a care.
No, they do not, which seems awkward at best.
Yeah.
So let's
move on to the next one.
Let's keep this park by park. How about that? Let's go over to the World Showcase and the Ratatouille attraction in the France Pavilion. This is supposed to open in spring of 2020, and from what we know, it's going to be basically a copy of the ride that is currently out in Disney Studios Park in Disneyland Paris. Hank, what do you think about this?
I'm thrilled. I'm, as many Disney enthusiasts would probably say, very disappointed that the restaurant management at Chef de France, which is the very highly rated French diner out in the France Pavilion, they do not want to be rethemed to Ratatouille's restaurant.
Gustos?
Because you empty straight into the, what is it called? It's called Ratatouille something. There's like De la Ratatouille or something in France. And you empty straight in there from the ride. But they are not going to be doing that with Chef de France.
So I believe the restaurant is in, so it's called Bistro Chez Remy, but it still has the big
Restaurant Chez Remy
Gusteau's sign from the the movie and things like that.
I'm remembering the end of it because the tiny little restaurant, you're supposed to be the size of the mouse, and you eat in the mouse size restaurant in Gusteau's, which is Chef de Remy. They're not going to be doing Gusteau's, which is disappointing, or Remy's. But whatever. Yes, I'm excited for the ride. It's a trackless ride in the United States, which has never happened. Awesome. In a Disney park.
I think this, I've watched YouTube videos of the attraction in Paris. It looks awesome, and I love dark rides because I think you can tell so much of a story compared to, the big thrill rides. I mean, you can tell a story in a lot of thrill rides. In roller coasters, not so much. The faster they go, the less time you have to tell a story. But this looks so cool. Like Hank was saying, the trackless ride system, which basically means you're in a car that doesn't look like you're on a track. You're like just driving all over the place. There's computers, running it and things like that. But
Yep.
It just looks so cool, so awesome, and a needed attraction for World Showcase. Yes, we have Frozen that has opened recently, but this is from the ground up a brand new state-of-the-art attraction, which of all of these, I think I'm incredibly excited for it, and it actually is probably surprising how excited I am for this one.
Interesting. That's good. I'm excited. I should add that I'm not upset about the mildly disappointed in the Chef de Remy thing, but the ride really does look spectacular. I mean, we cannot sell. If you haven't seen videos of these trackless things, they are pretty stellar. I mean, it moves in a way that you never anticipate a ride to move. So if you got some free time, check it out, because these things move quick, they move nimble, and like Connor said, they just tell a sweet story, because you can face any wall, any screen, you can put anything above you. They really control your vantage point all throughout it so they can tell an awesome story.
And I would say that the key word here is like fluid. That's how these rides will be working.
Definitely.
They're gonna be
You're not like stuck going uphill in a coffin.
Exactly. Exactly. So let's quickly touch on one of the new resorts we're getting. Well, actually, really the only new resort we're getting, Disney's Riviera Resort. This is going to be in the Hollywood Studios, Epcot, Caribbean Beach kind of area. So right now, Caribbean Beach and Coronado Springs, two moderates, are under extensive renovations, and they will all be renovated by 2021. There's a lot of cool things. We just had a couple announcements about dining options coming to Caribbean Beach. Looks very, very intriguing. The new tower going up at Coronado Springs looks awesome as well. They're putting up a restaurant on top, which I think will be a very cool place to grab a drink, eat, and something like at Coronado Springs on that tower, you're going to be able to see, I think, every single nighttime fireworks show.
Wow.
Yeah. And you're also going to be seeing it at Disney's Riviera Resort when it opens in fall of 2019.
Connor, you forgot the part that I thought for sure you and your father are very excited for about that, which is that waterfront bar that they're like the high-end bar that they're building there.
That's
right.
right.
There he goes. You should have seen how wide his eyes opened
That's
on
right.
the camera. He's excited for that
That's
one.
at Coronado Springs.
Yeah, it's going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
They're building like a waterfront bar that looks beautiful.
Anytime I can have an excuse to have a cocktail in Disney World, I am a happy man.
And it looks awesome. It's a nice design.
Oh, yeah. So the Disney Riviera Resort is going to be unique, and that is going to be one of only, when it opens, 3 completely standalone Disney Vacation Club resorts. Saratoga Springs and Old Key West are the other 2 standalone Disney Vacation Club resorts. If you don't know a whole lot about Disney Vacation Club, I would say Google it for now, and maybe in a later episode we'll go more in depth with it.
I'll do an explainer on that one.
I think this is cool just because my family is Disney Vacation Club members, so I always like staying at new hotels, and the Disney Vacation Club membership allows for that. The Disney Riviera Resort is going to be cool because it's going to be in an area where, I don't know, I just think it's going to be unique. It looks like it's going to be a tower. The theming is going to be something different. I am always cautious of going to Disney Vacation Club standalone resorts when you're not a DVC member staying there. I don't know. There's this weird dichotomy, this weird, like, it's.
Am I breaking the rules?
Exactly.
We don't like you. Yeah, whatever.
The real reason this is getting built is because Vacation Club rooms are always filled, and they always need more heads in beds on Disney property.
Yep.
But to get you from the Riviera Resort, to get you from Pop Century, from Caribbean Beach, to places like Epcot, to places like Hollywood Studios, you might be using the new Disney Skyliner transportation system, which is probably going to open sometime in mid-2019. So the Skyliners are basically buckets, gondolas, and they're going all over the place to the places I mentioned. When you think of these, Hank, are you terrified or excited to ride in one?
So you've done your due diligence to scare me in them with the Florida climate down there. I will say, though, after my most recent visit, being able to watch the towers go up, they don't go that high. I don't feel that scared looking at them. They're not as high as I thought they would be. I think it actually could be a pretty neat mode of transportation. We'll see what the actual track time is between places. I'm worried that it could be very slow. Totally speculative. But I think it could be a pretty nice way. It's going to be faster than a boat.
I mean, I think it's very unique, when you're not going up the side of a mountain in like Vail, Colorado. You're going from point to point in flat Orlando, Florida. I think it'll be... It's not going to move as quickly as a monorail. I don't think it'll be as iconic as the monorail. But I do think it's an upgrade over the speed of a boat and the inconsistency of a bus. I think the big thing for me on this is capacity issues. Like how many are going to be on any one track at a time, because I think I read that only 6 or 8 people can go into one gondola at a time. Yeah, man, that's crazy for big. Well, I guess big groups at that point, you've got multiple parents for the most part. But man, separating like your group for that long of a time can be tough. Or think about how long it's going to take for some people to get on. Each time they might have to stop it because, someone has to get on. Happens all the time in even Haunted Mansion. So, who knows? I think this one is cautiously optimistic. Optimistic. I do think another fun note on a recent visit, they are really starting to advertise this. We had a flyer in our room saying, "Look to the skies, coming in 2019." Oh, that's pretty cool. I've actually got it in my backpack. I'll show it to you soon. Yeah, I love stealing flyers from Disney hotels. Oh, yeah. I didn't steal that. I was given that. Oh, never mind. I redact what I just said. Yeah, there you go. Hank, let's get into the big things now. And the one that is going to open probably... How late does fall go? The soonest. Well, there's one thing at Hollywood Studios that I think we have to mention before this. Everyone's bitter at that decision, but yeah, we can do it. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, which is scheduled to open sometime in 2019. Again, no hard date. I have an inkling. Oh, I don't know if I want to say it. I think it's going to open before Star Wars. Maybe Memorial Day. I don't know. They have to. I mean, it's a capacity thing, right? They realize that not enough people are going to be lining up for the Great Movie Ride, and they need to at least have, a 30-minute wait constantly for something different. So Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, like Hank was saying, it is taking over the Great Movie Ride location. It's going to be a completely new ride system from what we've been led to believe, kind of like a 2.5D experience rather than a 3D, so you won't need 3D glasses, but it'll look like things are coming off the screen. It's the first ever standalone moving attraction to star Mickey Mouse, which that's why I'm excited about it. It sounds like they've got some pretty cool tech going into the ride, too. They're not just throwing it together. There's going to be some cool new animation scenes that you'll see in there. But cool new tech that I think will be family-friendly for people of all ages, too. Yeah. And it's Mickey Mouse. How can you go wrong? Slow-moving, but because I can't say, I'm going to say optimistic for all of these. If I look through our list, Connor, we got optimistic for this one, this one, this one, this one. I'm going to go indifferent on this one just because it's the least amount of lift on Disney's part on our list. That's probably true. I need to add a little flavor. I'm trying to be balanced on these. But now for the doozies. Here we go. Spoiler alert, we're all optimistic about these. Opening fall of 2019, which could easily be December 20th, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge will be opening at Hollywood Studios. What's that? I never heard of it. It's a little thing called Star Trek. It's a Star Saga
Frodo, that's right.
Yes, of the Skyrunner family. So it's going to be a land completely dedicated to Star Wars. A new place, the planet of Batuu, which is in Star Wars canon, but someplace we've never been before in the films, really, to a certain extent. And the place you're going to is Black Spire Outpost. That's the one thing that irks me. There's 9 names associated with this place.
Yeah, well,
you're going to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge on the planet of Batuu in the island in the port of Black Spire Outpost. Why not just name it Star Wars?
And then the rides go different places too,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
Why not just name it Star Wars Black Spire Outpost? I'll never know. But we're getting 2 rides, a
immersion.
Exactly, that's what it is. You're going to get a Millennium Falcon ride, an escape themed ride too, where you're escaping from rebel forces. But here, what we're talking about is immersion, and also where your actions will have consequences and they'll follow you throughout your day. We're getting pieces here and there of what this land is going to look like. I think it's going to be absolutely massive, absolutely gigantic. It's going to up attendance. It's going to be busy forever and ever and ever.
Yeah.
But I'm extraordinarily excited for it. Not necessarily because it is Star Wars. I am excited because it's Star Wars. I'm excited for what it signifies, for what new things we could be getting that will then branch out to other facets of the parks.
Yeah, I think at the time, well, you know what? This is what I talked about earlier with Splash Mountain. This is execution, tip-top execution of a tip-top property or a tip-top IP for Disney here. They are going all out on what at the time, this is before Marvel had really just broken to a new level of the atmosphere of their top IP. You know, this is like, we are going to do absolutely everything in our power to make this the can't miss place in the galaxy. And we're going to put it on both coasts too, because they're building one out in Disneyland in California. So I just think that you're right. There's so many parts of this that make it exciting. Star Wars is too massive to just try to pack into a couple sentences. So I'm just going to go ahead and say I'm excited because we know that they're executing at their top level on a top IP, and it's going to be awesome, even for those that are casual Star Wars fans.
I think you hit the nail on the head with casual Star Wars fans too. I think a lot of people are going to be turned away at this at first when they say, I don't really like Star Wars.
They see the lines too.
Yeah, right. I don't really like Star Wars. I don't need to do this. No one is a diehard Avatar fan, but Pandora in Animal Kingdom is incredible, right?
Yeah.
I love what you said about it's going to be a can't miss experience in all of the galaxy, like as in the galaxy we know. I completely agree with you. I think it's going to be incredible. Has a lot of hype to live up to, but hopefully it will reach that.
Hey, get ready though. I've been thinking about this a lot. You know how people love to carve up Apple after press conferences or when they launch a new iPhone? The button doesn't work. Oh, it's fine. The button worked. They just fixed it it was a bug. Don't worry. He stuttered on the stage. He didn't mean to say that when the maps suck. Something like that. That's going to be in full power next December. The lines are 19 hours long. Nothing works. It's working fine. Don't worry about it.
I was going to close up this segment with what I'm about to say, but I think because you brought it up, I'm just going to say it right now. There's too much in the Disney community world of people bad-mouthing things before they even open. And it needs to stop, right? People bashed Toy Story Land before it opened. People incredibly bashed Pandora before it opened.
Oh, yeah. Man, think about that.
It doesn't work. It doesn't fit. And then they went in and said, this is absolutely incredible. What you need to do is you need to have a leap of faith in the company that has built classics that you love, that you know and love in the Haunted Mansion, in all of Magic Kingdom, in Pirates, in Animal Kingdom. Epcot is incredible. Everything at Disneyland, that same company that you've put, so much time time and love into, you have to just say, we're willing to go with you. If you don't like Tron, whatever. If you don't like Star Wars, whatever. If you don't like Ratatouille, whatever. Experience it first and then judge it next.
Yeah.
Don't experience it. Don't cast it off. Don't say this is going to suck before it has even opened. It's just divisive and it's not cool. That was my rant. That was my rant of the day.
I loved it. I was ready to walk away and, charge off into battle there.
Well, we can't walk off just yet because we have to mention the Star Wars themed hotel. Which I'll say,
drop it.
As excited as I am for Galaxy's Edge, this might sound weird. I mean, I'm very excited for the resort. I don't think I'm as excited about it as I should be. I think for a lot of people, this is going to be number one. For me,
I was almost thinking that it might be. Well, no, I'm too excited about Tron. Too excited about Tron for not. I am super excited about this though. That's funny because I feel like I could almost be the type of person that's like, I'm just going to save up and I'm going to go to this thing for one night. I'm going to fly down to Florida and I'm going to stay in that hotel for one night to get the totally immersive experience. Or are they doing the thing where it's like the 2-day package and you have to book 2 nights? Whatever. I'll go down and I'll buy the package and I'll do it.
You and I will split.
Just
split
because
a
it'll
bunk.
be so totally immersive. And you'll get to walk on that path that only the people that get to stay in there. You'll get the totally private entrance. All your stuff will be tracked. Because this hotel is boasting, folks, that it's going to know what you did in the park that day and transfer that back. Like your credits are going to follow you through. Your actions are going to lead back to your bedroom and stuff. Oh, yeah. There's so many things. I'm thinking of like going back to your room and there being a dead horse's head in your bed.
It's my dream. I want it to happen.
Oh, it'd be amazing, wouldn't it? You'd be like, oh my God, this is great.
I will say this. This is incredibly petty of me saying, but what it seems like is there's going to be characters in this hotel. Like you're going to run into like actual characters. How you interact with them will determine how the rest of your stay goes, if you might have to complete a mission, if you end up going into Galaxy's Edge in Hollywood Studios, which this resort is going to back up to, like Hank was saying. You're going to apparently have your own private entrance to it. Who knows what that transportation method is going to be, but whatever happens in the resort is going to evidently follow you into Galaxy's Edge and all the characters that you interact with. That's incredible. That, I think, sounds awesome. I'm a little skeptical because you're basically going to be a guinea pig for all of this new stuff in Disney because it's never been tested before. But where I'm coming in with incredible pettiness is I hate face characters. I don't like interacting with face characters. Like in face characters is like a princess or the Mad Hatter, like someone who
it's like everyone in Star Wars.
A character you can talk to, and I just don't like that. It just creeps me out. I'm very uncomfortable with it. But hopefully they do this over the top so much that it all works out and it's all awesome.
Yeah.
Disney is being very hush hush about this, about what's going to be included, about rates for it, about how you're going to experience it, if it's going to be a thing where you come down and you don't go to any of the other theme parks, which I don't think is possible, but it might be. But because of all that, there's no date as of yet of when this might open. Most likely before 2021, but like we're talking about, there's a lot of cogs and moving parts that have to be assembled before this can open. A lot of motion.
Well, should we hit up the last part?
We've talked about it earlier in the show, but we have to mention it again. Tron roller coaster opening sometime before 2021 as well. I'm excited for this because yes, it's a roller coaster, and like I was saying, it's harder to tell a theme of something. And yes, it's kind of taken off the shelf because they've put it in Shanghai. It doesn't matter. It looks incredible. And the reason that I'm very excited about it is because it's a one-of-a-kind, when this opens, two-of-a-kind ride system in how you're going to get on this ride. It's going to be like you're actually riding a motorcycle. You're going to lean forward. That's how you're going to be locked in, things like that.
Yeah, to the uninitiated, it is like a roller coaster train. It looks full length, but your seat that you get into, you're like actually kind of getting on a bike, the way that it locks you in. If you've been on Flight of Passage, probably being trapped into that feels very similar to the way that you're locked into Flight of Passage, where there's something pushing on your back, so you can't just hop up. I gotta interject here, because the last time I rode Flight of Passage, I think some knucklehead in my theater stood up during that ride, and I had someone come over the PA and go, "Please sit down.
Wow.
Please remain seated at all times." And then I went right back to the show.
Wow.
Someone stood up on that. I don't know how that happened.
How would that happen? I have no idea.
Anyways, don't stand up on Tron, because that ride zips quick. And so I mentioned it before. This is my number one most excited thing. I'm most excited for coming into the 50th, because when anyone watches that video of the Shanghai Tron roller coaster, I mean, it is truly...
It's like it's floating through air as you're watching it. Like there's no track.
The lights are spectacular. The queue is amazing. It is like, if you've ever seen, to any of the folks that watch us from the West Coast, it feels like the Space Mountain track queue area where you're loading up in there, but like 90 years in the future without missing a beat. It looks totally immersive. I mean, it's crazy how cool it looks.
It's something that I'm incredibly excited for, because of everything that Hank has mentioned thus far.
I could do 20 minutes on this segment, but I'm going to try to limit myself to one more thing. Okay, think about this. When you're standing there getting ready to ride that ride for the first time, I know you've seen the video. I'm worried I may pass out when that thing glides around the corner, empty, so smooth, the tires rolling. It's just so perfect. When that thing comes around the corner, I'm going to be like, oh, here we go. This is happening.
I'm going to have to go watch the YouTube video now and just smile as I watch it, because it's so cool. Watch that thing just
glide around the corner. You know, like, oh, I'm riding this thing now.
I will say a comment on one thing. I wonder how load times are going to be.
Oh,
it's a new system for Americans mostly to get their heads wrapped around. I'm sure it'll take a while in the beginning. This definitely is very close to the top of my list. I mean, honestly, I think like Galaxy's Edge is probably the top of all of our lists, but the 1B, I think, for me, it probably should be this, but I think I'm going to put Guardians just because...
It's close. Well, no, I guess it's not that
It's not that close. I just love the characters. I like that there's a roller coaster coming to Epcot, and I think it signals two things. One, it signals that more Marvel characters are coming into the parks.
Yep.
And two, it signifies that big changes are going to come to Epcot. Like, this isn't a rumor. This also isn't stated by Disney, but Epcot will be going through a complete overhaul, and a lot of things that we don't know yet will be announced. It's going to last a long time. I think it's probably going to end by 2021, but again, they haven't announced anything, but it's pretty much a guarantee that a lot of new things are coming to Epcot, and I love Epcot, but there's going to be a massive renovation with it too.
Yeah, a lot to look forward to and a lot to be optimistic about.
That's the key word. That was the key word for this episode, optimism. That's going to do it for us this week. As always, thank you so very much for listening to the show. Be sure to rate and review us on iTunes, Google Play, or wherever you listen to podcasts, and share the show with someone you think might enjoy it. If you like what you heard today, then you've been listening to the WDW Opinion Podcast. If by chance you didn't like what you heard, then you've been listening to This American Life. For Hank, I'm Connor. We'll see you real soon.